Good morning, everybody. And just from SOPOL perspective, just going to give a quick briefing in regard to Groovin the Moo, which is a music festival on this Friday at Adelaide Showgrounds. The reason for coming here today to talk about Groovin the Moo is we will have an increased police presence. Part of the reason for that is we will have a lot of young adults attending this festival, so we are particularly concerned with traffic management in and around the Wavell Showgrounds, making sure it's safe for everybody. So there will be some traffic restrictions in place, speed controls, and certainly an element of police in numbers doing traffic enforcement. So we'd ask everybody that's driving in and around Wavell Showgrounds this Friday for the entire day to be particularly careful around traffic. Second part too, please, is to advise people that it is a concert that will have many festival goers attending it, and we do encourage that people consider their own behaviour within the concert venue and outside to make sure it's enjoyable for everybody. And the third component is to remind people that SA Police will be conducting drug detection operations before and during this event. It's particularly important for people to realise that all illicit drugs are potentially dangerous. Police will be taking firm action in operating drug detection dogs, overt and covert policing. And I do want to remind people attending the concert, please, that any behaviour involving illicit or illegal substances or bad behaviour will result in either there being excluded from attending or evicted from the event. The real underlying message here following recent events with drug overdoses is to remind people, please, that one pill can kill, and that it's very important that they understand that we want to see a safe event, that everybody enjoys themselves, and we don't have to spend our time delivering those sad messages to people with regard to deaths as a result of any illicit substances being taken.
Is there a particular concern at the moment, given what we saw in Queensland over the weekend and the bad batch of drugs as well that we saw here in South Australia over the weekend?
The information we have to date, and it's we can't rely on anything being anything other than a bad batch. For us, any of the illicit substances, the way they're manufactured, the way they're produced, are all potentially dangerous drugs. So there's no way for us to tell what's safe or unsafe. If it's illicit, it's unsafe. And we do support people not taking those substances, but we do want to also reiterate the fact that if somebody within this concert or outside of it is feeling unwell because they've ingested any substance, any alcohol, please approach police, security, or the medical support staff and seek immediate assistance. It's particularly important we get that message through.
Have police investigations into that bad batch got any further?
Other than to say that we've got illicit substances out there, we know they're in the community, we're working hard to reduce those, to remove them, but they do exist, and it's really up to the concert goers to be aware and not take these substances.
And there is updates to the condition of the patients that suffered overdoses?
No, I have none of that information.
So that particular batch, if it was all one batch, could still be out there, that's the warning?
Absolutely, from us, that's there could be any number of batches out there. Again, the message is illicit drugs, we don't know what's in it, it's potentially fatal.
Is that particularly concerning, I guess, with a festival like Groovin the Moo, where we do have, I guess, particularly young and underage people as well?
Well, our concern is that we don't want to see people taking anything, whether they're given it, offered it, sold it. It doesn't matter where it comes from. They have to understand, please, that it is potentially a dangerous item. And we won't tolerate it. We have zero tolerance towards it being brought into the festivals, and we will be using all of our lawful powers to make sure that we can keep it out.
If there is any concern, maybe that someone has taken something that has come from a bad batch, what is the suggestion for those people?
Well, the suggestion straight up, first and foremost, is seek medical attention, approach the police, security, or the medical staff, and immediately seek attention. What will follow up with inquiries will happen, but we want to make sure that the person who's not feeling well is attended to immediately. It's a matter of emergency.
So you touched on it there that uniform police will be here, but there'll be police here that are in plain clothes as well. Can you talk us through that covert operation?
The covert operation will run in conjunction with our drug detection dogs. So the public won't be aware necessarily that the officers they're seeing will all be in uniform. There will be a component throughout the festival that will include covert policing.
If someone's found in possession of drugs, what sort of penalties will they face?
Look, there's varying penalties in regard to the quantities they take or they have in their possession, and that may range from what we call a personal possession through to quantities that may be deemed by the courts to be of a level that is supply. But nevertheless, for anybody with any amount of illicit drug, you will be excluded or you'll be removed from the event.
Not necessarily arrested?
That's entirely up to the officers, but it is highly likely.
The resources you'll be using over the festival, is that an up or an increase in last time, considering the weekend's bad?
Look, we're in a holiday season as well. We're putting enough resources in here to police not only the internal aspects of the event, but we've got public transport running up alongside of it with railway and bus. So we'll have the public transport safety branch in attendance. We'll have officers both mounted and on bicycles inside and outside of the venue. But these are what we would call normal policing operations. For us, it's about making it an entirely safe event.
Can I get you to look this way when you're answering the question?
Sorry.
Thank you.
You touched on it, but how difficult is it for police to have to go to these families, when someone's had an overdose and explain?
I've had to experience myself. It's extremely difficult to take home that message to a family. Just the underlying factor that somebody's not going to return home it's not only devastating to the family, it's actually devastating to police to have to deliver those very unwanted messages. If we can stop any death as a result of illicit drug taking, it's very much a positive for us. That hurts everybody.
Just on that batch of drug on the weekend, has anyone come forward with information on where they got them?
No, I don't have any information regarding that batch of drugs.
Last question. All done?